Today, manufacturers are finally starting to understand and accept that a sled with a track longer than 121 inches isn't automatically a crossover. There's a whole category of long track trail sleds, and today we're going to shoot out 3 of the biggest, baddest, and most impressively spec'd units money can buy. Each of these sleds is the highest spec model from their respective manufacturer. Price will be a consideration in the shootout, but it was not a factor in determining which sleds we chose for the shootout. The most important 2 requirements are that the sleds must be over 800 cc's and must have a minimum track length of 136 inches. The 3 sleds we've got on the chopping block today are Arctic Cat's ZR8000 RR 137, Polaris' Switchback XCR 850, and Ski-Doo's Renegade XRS 850. So let's get started by talking about Arctic Cat's ZR8000 RR 137, and let's start by taking a look under the hood. The heart of the ZR8000 RR is Arctic Cat's 800cc C-Tech 2 power plant. This engine is semi-direct injected and makes fantastic power all through the power band. We love its mid-range and its top-end pull, and overall, we have very little bad to say about this motor at all. Chassis-wise, the 8000 RR is based on Arctic Cat's Pro Cross platform and rides on the Arctic Race front suspension that produces 10 inches of travel and Arctic Cat's slide-action rear suspension that produces 13.5 inches of travel. Kashima-coated Fox Zero QS3R shocks are standard up front and on the rear arm, and a Zero QS3 handles the front arm. For 2019, the 8000 RR gets a long list of new features and upgrades, including the new next-gen body panels, 3-wheel rear axle, new switchgear with push-button start and digital heater controls, as well as new grips and the all-new Stealth lightweight brake master cylinder. The RR package also includes handguards, a tether, awesome-looking LED accent lighting, a tunnel bag, and a mid-height race windshield. Traction is handled by a 137 by 1.25 lug Ripsaw 2 track that provides excellent on-trail traction in pretty much any snow condition. Next, let's take a look at Polaris' XCR Switchback 850, and again, let's start under the hood. Obviously, this XCR is not the same as last year's XCR in one very important way: power. Under the hood of the 2019 model, you're going to find Polaris' new Patriot 850. It has gobs of power down low, in the mid-range, and up top. It sounds amazing, feels so strong, and it just has tons of character. The XCR rolls on Polaris' Axis platform, with the Axis front end delivering 9.3 inches of travel and the Pro XCR rear end delivering 13.6 inches of travel. Walker Evans' Speed Comp piggyback needle shocks handle the front end and the rear arm, and a non-needle version of the Speed Comp handles the front arm. The XCR package is a pretty serious one that comes standard with Polaris' Race Technology vented brake system, chromoly rear pivot, solid jack shaft, chromoly front torque arm, reinforced rail beams, solid wheels in the skid frame, and a performance seat. Polaris' interactive digital display with GPS mapping and a taller mid-height windshield that actually keeps you warm are both standard. The XCR Switchback can be ordered with either a 136 by 1.35 Cobra or 136 by 1.75 backcountry track, depending on where you plan to use it. Next up is Ski-Doo's Renegade XRS 850. Ski-Doo was first to market with an 850 power plant, and until this year, they were the only manufacturer with a displacement advantage. This year, the Renegade XRS remains largely unchanged, including under the hood, which is a good thing because power from Ski-Doo's 850 is strong everywhere, and one of the hallmarks of the 850 power plant is fuel and oil efficiency. The Renegade XRS is based on Ski-Doo's Gen 4 platform, with their RAS3 front end producing 10 inches of travel and legendary R-Motion producing 10 inches of travel out back. KYB takes care of the damping duties with a set of piggyback Pro 36s up front and a massive set of remote reservoir Pro 40s out back. Ski-Doo's XRS package includes some interesting features, including a more forward-mounted steering post, flatter, wider, and stronger RS running boards, adjustable handlebar riser block and race seat, but instead of a windshield, a deflector thing and handguards are standard, and honestly, they don't do a very good job of keeping you warm. The revolutionary P-Drive primary is also standard, and a set of race-level Brembo brakes round out the XRS package. Traction for the XRS Renegade is handled by either a 137 by 1.25 Ripsaw or Ice Ripper XT, or a 137 by 1.6 Ice Cobra, giving you lots of options to match your track to your riding style. So now we know what we're dealing with, but obviously the question we have now to answer is which of these 3 top-of-the-line big-bore 2-stroke long-track trail sleds is actually the best. To determine this, we need to look at a few different categories of comparison. They are front and rear ride quality, handling, power and power delivery, ergonomics, features, and value. Let's start off with front ride quality. Front-end ride quality is an area where these three sleds differ greatly. The Polaris Axis front end is, as it always has been, the best riding front end in the business, which obviously gives it the win here. Arctic's race front suspension can handle mellow trail rides or hard ditch banging without flinching, and it comes in second, with Ski-Doo's RAS3 coming in a close third. This gives 3 points to the Polaris, 2 to the Arctic Cat, and 1 to the Ski-Doo. Out back, the story is different though. Our Motion is hands down the best rear suspension of the bunch. The Pro Ride rear end of the Axis comes second, with the slide action skid frame of the Arctic Cat coming in a close third again. Handling is a very subjective thing. What might be great for one person may not be great at all for another. So to pick a winner here, we tallied up the opinions of our entire crew as well as our long list of test riders. Here are the results. The winner is, by a large margin, the XCR. Most people agree its handling is the most predictable and confidence-inspiring. The difference between second and third place was surprisingly close. The Arctic Cat and Ski-Doo are very much opposites. The XRS is more precise on initial turn-in, but it feels a little nervous at speed. The RR is a little less precise on initial turn-in, but bites predictably and at speed is more confidence-inspiring. Power and power delivery is definitely the category people are interested in most now that the 850 E-Tech has some serious competition. Right off the bat though, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Arctic Cat's C-Tech 2800 comes in third here with 1 point. The power and efficiency of Ski-Doo's E-Tech 850 is undeniable. The P-Drive primary is outstanding and its benefits cannot be overstated. However, engagement is on the abrupt side and something needs to be done about vibration, especially at idle. On the other hand, the 850 Patriot is smooth as butter, and engagement is almost anticlimactic with how soft and controllable it is. Feels like it outpulls the E-Tech from bottom end to top end. It's not as efficient as the Ski-Doo, though not terrible, and at the end of the day, it simply outperforms the E-Tech. Ergonomics are again very subjective, so we went back to our large group of testers and polled them to see which they preferred. Polaris Axis chassis is the most comfortable of them all, with near perfect riding position. In second place was Ski-Doo's Rev Gen 4, which most testers agreed is comfortable but leaves you feeling more like you're riding on the sled instead of becoming part of the sled. A very close third was Arctic Cat's Procross chassis, which is an extremely comfortable sled, but a low seat height hurts its overall ergonomic scores. Most of our testers agreed though, that if it had a taller seat, it would actually be more comfortable than the Gen 4. When it comes to features, all three of these sleds have expert-level shock packages. They all have race-inspired extras as well. In the end, this was one of the closest categories, but in this case, the XRS wins by a hair thanks to its included electric start, excellent running boards, bomb-proof shock package, and adjustable bar riser. A very close second was Polaris's XCR, with its excellent vented brakes, race-ready suspension upgrades, GPS-enabled gauge, and functional windshield. But an even closer third was Arctic Cat's ZR, with its Kashima-coated QS3 shocks, tunnel bag, standard equipment, functional windshield, and cool LED accent lighting. The final category in this shootout is value, but this doesn't just mean the cheapest price. The sled with the lowest price tag doesn't necessarily offer the most value. What's important here is what you're getting for your money and the cost versus experience factor. Polaris's Switchback XCR 850 retails for $14,199 US. Arctic Cat's ZR8000 RR137 retails for $14,599, and Ski-Doo's Renegade XRS 850 retails for $15,499. When you consider all that you're getting with the Switchback, the performance, handling, ergonomics, then factor in the included 4-year engine warranty and the fact that it's $400 cheaper than the Arctic Cat and $850 cheaper than the Ski-Doo, it's impossible not to pick this sled as the value winner. Yes, the Ski-Doo is the most expensive of the bunch, but you're getting the best rear-end ride in the business, impeccable fit and finish, and the highest tech fuel-injected system in the industry, plus a more powerful 850 E-Tech. This isn't to say the 8000 RR isn't a great deal. It definitely is, and if it had an 850 under the hood, it might very well have taken second place. Our 7 categories of competition give us a final tally of 19 points for the Switchback XCR 850, 14 points for the Renegade XRS 850, and 9 points for the ZR8000 RR137. These 3 sleds are so close in every category. We're splitting hairs here to pick a winner. The sleds in second and third place are definitely not bad sleds. But in the case of this Shootout, we feel the Polaris Switchback XCR 850 is simply a tiny bit better. But at the end of the day, we would be stoked to ride any one of these sleds, anytime, any place. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the like button and then subscribe to SnowTrax TV's YouTube channel that's constantly being updated with fresh content.